two steep climbs before they come in to shoot, but it is a long, fast downhill into the stadium, and so really no excuses for missing the targets in the prone position, but we will keep our eye out for the wind conditions, which have been changing on and off over the morning. Now, the favourites for the race spread out between number 5, which is Ule-Éinar Björndalen, who's drawn a very early start, and, well, we go right down to the likes of Wolfgang Perner, who starts at number 84 today. So potential winners pretty much right the way throughout this field of 100 competitors, but lots of the top guns going off early on. Björndalen, as I say, number 5. Frank Luck goes at number 17. Frude Andrason, a man who's certainly capable of winning, hasn't won so far this year, but he could do should he hit 9 or 10 targets. He starts 19. Lahti of Finland goes 29. I wonder what he'll do in front of his home crowd today. Svend Fischer, the Sprint World Cup leader, starts number 31. Rico Gross of Germany, 46, just ahead of Michael Grice, who starts a minute after him at number 48. And then Рафаэль Пуаре starts at 54, just a couple of minutes ahead of Pavел Rostovцев, the World Cup leader at the moment, with well, he starts number 60, and just to give you a rundown as Yannis Osbolt gets underway, just a quick update on the overall World Cup standing so you realise how tight this is. Rostovcev has 617, Рафаэль Пуаре has 598, but if you take away the points that have to be deducted, the worst 3 results of the season, you have to take 16 off Rostovcev, none off Poiret, and so effectively just 3 points separating the top 2 positions. And Björndalen ready to pounce should either of those two make mistakes. He's down on 544, 73 points behind at the moment, and you really feel that Björndalen has got to put in a finish like he did last year, and finishing in the top 2 of every race still to come. Well, here he is, the most successful Olympic biathlete ever now, with 4 golds from Salt Lake City. He also took a gold and a silver from Nagano in '98. And here he is trying to win the overall World Cup now. Well, I think it's becoming a harder and harder task as the races go on, because the points so finely distributed. It's not like the Alpine events where you get 100 points for a win, 80 for a second. You get 50 points for a win, 46 for second, 43 for third. So it is very difficult to open up a big gap, and it really only happens when you miss out races, just as Poiret and Björndalen. Well, here's Gaël Poiret, the brother of Raphael. He's not quite in the same class, but he did produce some good results. Björndalen's skis going well, no doubt about that, and just lifting the glasses off the head. Now, I'd be interested to know if anyone out there is a specialist with the eyes. A couple of emails coming through saying, does your eyesight affect your performance in biathlon? I'm sure if you're that short-sighted, it's going to be very difficult indeed, because you've got to get a clear picture of the target once you've looked through the 2 ring sights. But I wonder what difference it makes taking the glasses off the eye. They're not coloured, I see, Björndalen's today, but sometimes they race with dark shades on. And then just to take the glasses off before you shoot would not be a good idea in my book. Well, so the first one's gone wild again. We've seen that on a number of occasions. And the second settles himself down, has looked down the range to see what the wind is doing. Well, how about that? How about that? 5 misses. Well, the cameraman quite rightly goes to the wind, but I don't think that was the wind. And Björndalen, 5 penalty loops. Well, we haven't seen him do this for a while. That's, what is it, 750 extra meters. If he has to do it again, that will be 1,500 extra meters he has to ski. And the Norwegian coach straight on the radio, he'll be getting the message through to the likes of Andresen and Hjelland, who's yet to come in to tell them what to do. Well, that is a disaster, absolute disaster, and I'm afraid with those 5 misses, I think that is the end of Bjørndalen's chances of taking the overall World Cup this year. So it couldn't really be any worse news for the Norwegian fans. Now, will the French fare any better? Who's to say? Maybe they'll miss targets, but the standard of shooting in the women's race was pretty good. And the conditions, to be honest, haven't changed much since then. It's got a little bit brighter, just a fraction brighter, but that is all. Just one penalty you hear there for Рафаэль Pуаре, who started in front. Well, 30 seconds behind Ulе-Éinar Bjёrndalen, so he hasn't had too many problems. But get the close-up of Bjørndalen's targets, so the only man who knows where they went was the Norwegian coach scoping on the range. Bjørn Volschlager, one of the many German biathletes who didn't get the call-up for the Olympic squad, and he'll be looking to prove something this afternoon. And I think we'll see him go out hard, and should he go clear on the pro, and then he's going to be in for a hard race, because that will set him up for a good finish. And if he can get in the top 10, then who knows, he may even get himself a place in the relay team here in Lahti. So Bjørndalen's finally off the penalty loop, and he's 1:36 behind. I think that's too much. He's done some absolutely incredible skis so far this year, but I think 1:36 behind on the first shoot, and he's going to find himself even further behind, because many of the quicker skiers haven't even gone through that stage. So I think he's out of contention, but he must keep going. He must try and pick up some World Cup points, because who's to say that Pуаре and Rostовцев won't make mistakes as well. One miss for Borovitz, and the wind just settling as he shoots. Egil Hjelland still the leader after the first shoot, but I don't think that lead is going to last too long. Could Ilmar Brissis take it? Starting at number 30, Brissis currently lying 25th in the World Cup standings, but hasn't been in action since the Olympic Games, so you could say he's well rested. Now, here's another speed merchant, Frude Andrason, going through that first checkpoint, 5:39. He's for Ulе-Éinar, 5:39 as he goes through, 1.5 seconds in front. Now, if he can hit all 5, then he's got a real chance. Now, Svend Fischer, it would be good to see him going through the first checkpoint, because he has been skiing faster. Have a look at the handles on his sticks. He's the only man who uses those. They came in the mid-80s, and he obviously got a good sponsorship deal to use them, and he's stuck with them right the way through. Many of the other athletes don't like them, because they don't give you quite as much control over the stick. But I guess when you've used them for long enough, it's not a problem. Hanna Vold. Just so you know that the Norwegians haven't all got bad rifles. Bjørndalen missed 5, Hjelland has hit 5, and Hanna Vold's going to be somewhere in between, it looks like. He just goes one click clockwise. So trying to aim off the left a little, and it seems to have done the trick. So 3 of the 5, and I really still can't get my head around the fact that Bjørndalen has gone and missed 5. He skied into the range very quickly, but do remember that it's all downhill into this range here in Lachti, and he was pretty much fully recovered when he settled for the shoot. So I don't think it's anything to do with the fact that he was skiing hard. I think maybe the sight's taking a bit of a knock in the preparation area before the race. Frank Luck with a chance to get himself into the top 3. I don't think he's going to match Egil Kjelland's time of 9:10. It is a good 20 seconds from the firing point till the clock stops. We'll time it with Frank Luck should he go clear, but he'll have to go clear to give us an impression. No, he hasn't. We'll have to wait to find out exactly how long it takes from the firing point to the checkpoint. And Frank Luck with 1 penalty will find himself outside the top 3. Still up in the top 5 of the World Cup standings. Now here's Frude Andrason. Still only missed 1. Ignore the yellow captions. And the first was wild, but the next 4 go down, so he's still in with a chance. Very quick indeed. Kjelland's time of 9:10 will stand, but Andresen won't be that far outside. Frank Luck has missed 1. He's gone through. And Mark G, incidentally, of Great Britain, has gone clear, but has already lost 53 seconds over the first 3 kilometres to the likes of Kjelland. Now, remember, Fred is trying to get into the top 60 today. I think, can consider himself the most unfortunate at the Olympics, in a position to win at least 3 medals, but lost out on the final shoot, the standing shoot of all of those races. Now, often lets the rounds go very quickly indeed. 5 out of 5 to be on the podium. 4 out of 5. Well, he's got 4 out of 5. Now, this is going to be an interesting situation. 1 penalty loop to ski, and Andresen is only just under a minute outside the time of Kjelland. So it's going to take him 21 seconds to get round the loop, another 15 seconds or so to get to the timing wand. But I think that Kjelland's time of 18:51 is going to be blown apart, and Andresen with 8 out of 10 is still in a position to win this one. That little turn up of the lip would indicate that the coach is a little bit happier, having seen Bjørndalen miss 5. Now, is this going to be the first win for Andresen this season? 18:29, 18:31, 20 seconds still to get inside that time of Kjelland. I think 5 out of 5 would have been almost certain top 3. We'll have to wait and see what the likes of Pare and Rostovtzev do later on. They had late start numbers, but Andresen has got 5.4 seconds in hand. He's skied an extra 300 meters. There he is, glancing over his shoulder to see his position. He'll have picked up the information. He knows what he's got to do, and now it's a question of how much energy he's got left in the tank. Another 3.3 kilometers to go, and he could open that gap from 5 seconds up to 15, maybe even more. Now, this really is very significant for the World Cup standings in the sprint event, because Andresen is lying in 3rd place with 191 points. He's only 9 points off the lead of Svend Fischer, and Fischer has made a mistake on the first, the prone shoot, and is down behind Andresen, but he could get back on terms in the second shoot. The door is just a fraction open. All the Austrians have lacked consistency this year with their performances. Here comes Kjelland, who's certainly turned up the pace for the final 3 kilometers. He sensed something good was on the cards. 27:31, that's the target time, and it's impressive. He's taken another 4 seconds out of Dostal on the last lap, and he puts himself comfortably in the lead. There he is, just one of 2 men who still wear those nasal dilators, hold the side of the nose open to aid the breathing. Big moment then for Pavel Rostovtsev. Рафаэль Пуаре is already out on the course, and all the Russian has to do is to beat Poiré in every race remaining. It's not much to ask, is it? Wow. Well, he'll be thinking more and more about that as these races go on. Michael Grice, who's impressed us with his speed, and really just has shown a little of his lack of experience, I guess we could say. He started racing on the World Cup last year, at the end of last season, got a couple of top 6 results, and has been limited in his race experience this year, but every time he's let loose, he's produced a very impressive result indeed, and second in Östersund last week in the sprint event. Well, he'll start believing that he can win these things. There we go, Frank Luck with 1 miss. Rattling through those results fairly quickly. I can tell you that Fisher is down in 7th place after the first shoot at the moment, and has yet to come through the second shoot, so we'll get a picture later on. 1:13 behind when he started this last loop. He's closed the gap a little more. He's got 1:06, 5 missed targets. Well, there's only one man in the world who can do that, and Björndalen has kept it going. Rico Gross of Germany. Gross, who got 2 4th positions in the Olympics in the individual and looked as though he was going to miss out by the smallest of margins on each occasion, but he did get a bronze in the pursuit event. Could have gone better, having missed 2 on the final shoot, but he came home with a medal in that, and of course got another silver in the relay event. So another haul of medals for Rico, who's been around for many years now, and is lying in the top 4 in the World Cup standings, just ahead of his teammate Frank Luck. Zdeněk Vítek of the Czech Republic, 9:14. He's had a good race. Could it be his day? We'll try and pick up his result after the second shoot. Vítek starting number 36, so still got a little way before he comes in. Now, here's Michael Grice. Big moment. He's quick enough to take the lead here. Still got 30 seconds to get inside Hieland's time, but that has blown his chances. Now, you can see how the gusts pick up, and certainly Grice was affected by one of them, so he can consider himself just a little unlucky, and I think maybe the coaches will say that it was a wind-affected shot and not his fault. He'll come in for the standing with a chance of getting in the top 10, but it's not going to be his first World Cup win. He thought he had it last week, but Svend Fischer starting late and coming with a very strong charge indeed to deny him. But Germany getting 1 and 2. Still waiting for Svend Fischer to come down for his standing, and as we mentioned his name, here he is. 18:17, 18:18, 18:45 the time of Andresen. It's very quick. He can't afford a miss if he wants to be on terms. They've all gone down. Well, he's got 20 seconds now to get inside Andresen's time. Now, this really is going to be close. It's at least 20 seconds to get to the timing one. He's got another 8 or so left, and the time is ticking away. I think the Norwegian's going to have the advantage, but Fischer has a chance of getting into the top 3. There goes the lead time, and Fischer is not going to catch Andresen over the last 3 kilometres. I don't think that will happen unless the Norwegian takes a big tumble on the way round. Doesn't happen too frequently, but it could. But he's got 10 seconds to make up. Now, if you were the coach, what sort of split would you give him? Would you tell him he's got 10 seconds to make up on Andresen, or would you tell him that if he can gain 5 seconds, he's going to find himself in the top 2? Well, I think I'd go for the latter, because any split time given on Andresen only acts as a depressant. And there he is, 18:45, the leading time after the second shoot, and Norway in a good position with 1 and 2 at the moment. Further down, Bjorndalen, 1:19. Close that gap to 1:06 by the finish, but Andresen will be pushing the finish time ahead very shortly. Hieland's leading time, 27:31. Рафаэль Пуаре has had a good start, and he's going to be inside Hieland's time, so the race is not over quite yet. Andresen can't relax. In fact, he's still got to finish, but he'll certainly keep an eye out for this man, and he'll keep his eye out for the likes of Vincent de Frasner as well from France, who started just a minute behind Рафаэль Пуаре. Well, he's going to have, what, 10 seconds in hand, maybe a little more. 11.6, that's quite a handy lead, but still no room for error for the Frenchman. Now, Zdeněk Vítek started well and has let it slip yet again. Another 300 meters, and Vítek's chances of a top 5 have gone. What we really want is for all these men to finish within 15-20 seconds of each other, so we have a tremendous pursuit event on Sunday. Andresen has done his best to finish on the top, 27:07. Now, 24 seconds. He had 5 seconds in hand. He's opened up a gap of another 20 seconds, and that is bad news for the likes of Svend Fischer, who is chasing the Norwegian. I feel absolutely certain he's not going to manage it. Rojgås put in a storming finish to go into 3rd place. 4-second lead at the moment. Рафаэль Пуаре, the quickest after the first shoot having gone clear. 8:58 the time now. So that includes a shoot of 5 targets, plus 3,333 meters or whatever. A mistake by de Frasner. He still wouldn't have matched Poiret's time. He would have been 15 seconds adrift. But if he can go clear on the standing, he's still got a chance. Slim one, but he's got a chance. Oh, what a ski. What a tremendous ski. So the man in 2nd position in the World Cup has come through and gone clear. I wonder whether Pavel Rostovtzev knows that as yet. So here he is coming in for shoot number 1. Remember, 4 out of 80 misses in the last 5 races. A percentage just under 95%. Ice cool. Well, how could we ever doubt him? 8:49, it's not the quickest run, but it's a tremendous shoot. 8:58 is Poiret's time. He's going to be outside that, but well, he does have to worry about Pуаре. There is no real room for error. Effectively, only 3 points separating the 2 men when you've taken away the worst 3 results of the season. So there is no room for error from this man. He's got to hope that Pуаре makes mistakes on the standing. He's less likely to do so. 18 seconds down. He's into 6th place at the moment. And that is a big, big gap that could be lost should Pуаре win this one. Well, this is going to be a cracking season. I think, sadly, that Ulе-Éinar Bjåndalen has dropped himself out of the reckoning for the overall title with those 5 misses in the prone position. Extraordinary stuff. And I can only think that the wind upset him. That's the race leader. Not looking too cheerful about it, but I guess he's still going through the recovery phase. There are the positions after the first shoot. You can see that Andresson is down in 4th position, 13 seconds down. He's finished this race having missed another target, so he's missed 2, and he's got a lead of 24 seconds over Hjelland, who he was only 2 seconds behind at that stage. But time looks ominous. We'll see just how quick he is when he comes in to the range for the second shoot. I think he's going to find himself a little way behind. Svend Fischer, who was 10 seconds down on Andresson as he came out of the range, and he's now 14.7, so working hard but still losing ground to the Norwegian. And second, I think, is the best he can hope for at the moment. And Andresson will just watch the rest of the proceedings on the big screen. That's one of the advantages of going in Group 1 and drawing an early start number. But he also knows that everyone out there will be getting splits on his time. All the athletes tend to work with psychologists, and they get to know what sort of information helps them, and those of a nervous disposition certainly wouldn't want to have too much pressure put on them by being told that hit 5 and you've got a chance of taking this one. Rico Gross throws the right, first one low right, the second one low right, the third one is smack in the middle. He's low again. We don't see that too often from old Rico, but he's missed 3. He's got a little bit extra to ski before he can head for home. Will this be his last season? He's been talking about retirement ever since the Olympic Games in Nagano in '98, but he's still here, and he's still putting in some tremendous performances, still in the top 5 of the World Cup standings, but that wasn't the best performance we've seen from him. Well, there's plenty of time to catch up with Andresson at the end. Let's get back to the race, find out what's going on. He's there, you see his finish position. Svend Fischer now heading for home, 27.07 the time he's after. He's only got 6 seconds. He's got to go round the stadium up to the far end and then back down again. He's still going to be 14 seconds or so adrift of the leading time, but it should be good enough to put him into 3rd position, if not ahead of Egil Hjelland, who was 24 seconds behind Andresson at the finish. Michael Grice with a chance of pulling back. Yes, he has. That first miss could cost him another top 3. Fischer comes in 18.7, losing 4 seconds over the last 500 meters. That is a measure of the charge that Andresson put in to finish. 27.07 out of reach, but go into 2nd place. Peter Sendel, another man to go clear, and you get to see that he's really not on the same skiing terms as the Norwegians. But he's finishing his season well. Disappointed not to get a race in the individual races in Salt Lake City, but he was part of the relay team. That's what he went for. He was promised a place in that relay team by Frank Peter Roach, and Roach was good to his word, and he's come home with a gold or silver medal for his efforts. So often the Germans win, but not on this occasion. They had to settle for silver. Norwegians taking their first ever Olympic gold in the relay event, and thanks largely to this man who put in a storming run. And his performance certainly was the reason that Bjørndalen had a comfortable margin when he started the final leg. So they're the positions. It's not a clear shoot that's leading at the moment, but Poiret still to go through his second shoot. He'll be coming down at the range in the next minute or so, and he has gone clear on the first shoot, so it's a big moment. Well, here he is, a little bit ahead of time. The time is good, 17:34 on the clock. Now, he needs to get out of the range at about 18:20 to have a chance. One more. And it's gone down. And Andresson, well, does he know? I think he does. Have a look at the time, 18:45. Poiret is flying. He is absolutely flying, and he's going to be inside, comfortably inside, and I don't think he's going to lose it from here. He shot quicker than the Norwegian, that is certain. But this is, well, this could be the race that puts Pуаре back on top of the World Cup table and could secure his third successive victory in the overall World Cup. Well, still 4 races to go after this one, but he's got a 23-second margin, and he is not going to lose that. He is not going to lose that, and there is the face of someone who's just realised he's going to finish second today. So Pуаре going clear. His last shot was very, very close, right up in the top right-hand corner. The round split in half, half of it taking the target down, away with a clear shoot, and he's got away with over 20 seconds advantage over Frode Andresen of Norway. Zdenek Vitek, 2 shots missed, 28.04. And one of his better races, but those 2 shots will cost him dearly at the end of the day. Started number 36, 100 on the start list for today's race, and Vitek will have to wait and see whether he finishes in the top 15. I think top 10 might be a little bit too optimistic. Quite a big margin between the leading 3 at the moment. 24 seconds, and that is going to be the margin at the start of the pursuit on Sunday. I wonder how big a lead Pуаре will have. Björn Ferry of Sweden, who's had a pretty good season, really. The Swedes still developing their biathlon skills. It's been many years since they had a lot of success on the men's tour. You know all about the success on the women's tour. And incidentally, there'll be a chance to catch up on the women's race later on this evening, so I won't give you the result of that one right now, but I can tell you that we had a winner who's never won before, so it's worth watching. Very straight spine from De Frasner. Doesn't create, I guess you could call it a scoliosis, to balance himself in a standing position, but 4 out of 5 will do him for now. 2 misses, just the same as Frode Andresen, who's still the leader in the finish area. But Рафаэль Пуаре is heading home with a clear shoot. Will Gilles Marguet do the same? 2 to go. Rostovtsev in the caption, top right-hand corner. Remember, clear on the prone. 2 more targets to go. Oh, Rostovtsev's got his first miss. That is going to cost him, and he's going to finish outside the top 3. He is going to finish down outside Poiret's time, and almost certainly the World Cup leaders bid. Well, will it change? There was a 19-point gap, and as long as Rostovtsev finishes let's see, as much as in the top 7, then he should keep the yellow bib. But do remember about this business of taking away your worst 3 results at the end of the season, because when we've done that, there are effectively only 3 points between Rostovtsev and Pуаре, but that won't be done until the very last race of the season has been completed. The mass start due to be held in Oslo at the end of March, the end of next week, in fact, on the Sunday. The 24th is that. So that is going to be an almighty race, should these 2 stay as close as they are at the moment. And Rostovtsev has got to try and pick the pace up. He wants to stay on terms with the Frenchman. I wonder whether Björndalen is regretting sitting out the round of the World Cup that took place in Åsby just before the Christmas break. He nearly always takes a break before Christmas to ensure that he can keep his form right the way throughout the season. Well, he's skiing as well as ever, but in all he's sat out 5 races this year, and it looks as though that will cost him his chance of winning the World Cup. Had he picked up another 60-70 points in 2 World Cups, which is more than likely, then he would have been absolutely on terms with Pavel Rostovcev. But his focus for the season was the Olympic Games, and he's come back with 4 out of 4 golds. Poiret's focus for the season was the Olympic Games. He hasn't come back. He did get medals, but he didn't produce anything like what he was hoping for. And now Poiret's focus has to be the overall World Cup. And with a possible win today, and it's looking very much like that's going to be the end result, it's looking good for the Frenchman to secure his 3rd overall World Cup in succession. They see Bjorndalen pushed down to 10th position with 5 misses. Now, even if you say it's 20 seconds for each penalty loop, I think actually that Andresson for once has skied even faster than Bjorndalen. But Poiret, well, he's hasn't had to ski quite as quick because he's been better in the range. 10 out of 10 yet again today, and he goes through 24. He's got plenty of time in hand, 20 seconds. He's lost 4 seconds of the lead he had, but it's no distance from here to the range. Most of it downhill. It's going to be very quick indeed. All the hard work is done, and Рафаэль Пуаре heading for yet another victory in the World Cup. That will take his total tally to 18 wins. And it's going to be his 5th win for this season, and sets him up for a possible win tomorrow as well. Michael Grice turns it up over the closing stages. I think he knows this is close between himself and Frank Luck. He's been given splits on Luck, but he's going to lose out here, and he comes in alongside Rico Gross. Michael Grice gets 109 down into 7th place, and Frank Luck stays in 6th for now. Globishnik gets pushed down. Good run from him to finish in the top 10 at the moment. We'll see whether he stays there. Peter Sendel in 28.05 at the moment. A clear shoot from Peter should usually be good enough to put him in the top 10. But as the seasons go by, Peter does seem to get slower and slower. But what he does quite sensibly is to focus on just a few races for the year. Say, well, these are the ones I've got to do well in. And he's produced a pretty good peak this year as well. 10th position at the moment, but a fair way down. He's going to have a struggle in Sunday's pursuit. Well, the leader heading under the tunnel for the last time, back down into the stadium. It's a clean run from here, no hairpin bend as we see so often as they break down into the Lahti stadium. So no real chance of taking a fall. Up to the far end, and then a quick left-hand turn back down to the finish area. And 20.07, the time of Andresson is going to be taken apart. He'll be under 27 minutes, and that is almost certainly going to be the winning time here in this men's pursuit. Well, he gets generous applause, and he deserves it. He must have known what he had to do. One shot missed would have cost him a victory, but 11.8, he's just cruised home. He knew exactly what was going on, and not only that, he knows what's going on behind him as well, because he would have kept the margin at around 20 seconds. Good finish from Andresson. He picked up the speed over his closing stages, but it's not enough. 9 out of 10 would have been enough to give the Norwegian victory. So win number 5 then for Рафаэль. Well, I wonder how many weekends we've had this year when either him or his wife haven't won a race, and it won't be so many. I'll work it out before we're back on air for the pursuits on Sunday. Very close to Gredler down the bottom. Just pushes his luck a little too far, and the 5th one clips the edge of the target, but it's gone down. So 4 out of 5 for Gredler. Quite a quick skiing time. In fact, a very good skiing time where had he gone clear, then he would have been on terms with Рафаэль Пуаре. And it's been a feature of the Austrian team over the last couple of seasons. Their skiing has improved dramatically, and when they shoot well, they are contenders for a win. Now, Rostovtsev, how many points is he going to lose? Remember, he's got 19 in hand over Pore at the moment, and well, he's down in 6th position, which will give him 34 points as opposed to Poiret's 50. So if he stays in 6th, he's going to lose 16 points, and well, as the table's produced, he's going to keep a lead of 3 points. So really couldn't get any closer. Been there, seen it, done it, says Pore. Well, we know what that was about. So just keeping his sponsors happy. And Pore, well, he's done it by racing well. 26.55. That's not a bad time on a course as tough as this, and Lahti really is very tough for the biathletes. The cross country isn't quite so hard because they work their way up to the top of the hill and then they stay on the top of the plateau for some time before dropping down. But with this biathlon where you have to get back to the central area, the range, it's just up the hill, back down again, up again and down again. And the hills here are very, very steep. The downhills are very quick and don't afford you much rest. But that's interesting racing. It's good stuff. And if the snow conditions are slow, then it really is one of the circuits that the athletes don't enjoy. But today, temperatures around -3, -4, absolutely perfect. We've had clear skies in the morning. As you can see, it's clouded over a little, but it's only light cloud. But all it's doing is preserving the cold temperatures, which is fine. Now, Alexander Wolf. Rostovtsev looking for top 6 to maintain his lead, and he's got it at the moment, 27.57, and well, who's to say he may not stay there. He's going to beat Gilles Marquet, so he's safe for the moment, but he can afford to finish in 6th and 7th, so he can only afford to drop one more place. If he goes down to 8th, then the lead will be taken away, and the yellow bib will swap between these two men yet again. Bjorndalen held it at the beginning of the season. It wasn't long before Poire claimed it, then Rostovtsev got it back, then Poire, then Rostovtsev stole it again in Östersund. He's got it on his shoulders at the moment, and provided he doesn't drop more than one place in this event here in Lahti, then he'll keep it for the pursuit event on Sunday. But who's to say which way it is going to go in Holmenkollen next week? 3 races on the card, sprint, pursuit, but I have a feeling it's going to come down to that very final mass start, and I'm sure that's on the Frenchman's mind already. Pavel Prunen just raises a little bit of interest out of the crowd. Obviously this is his home course. Oh, unlucky, very unlucky. Poire had one about a millimetre and it went down, but Purinen gets unlucky with the last 2. The final shot actually thrown way high, just lost his concentration there, snatched at the trigger and thrown high and slightly right, and he finds himself on the magic roundabout for the first time today. 300 metres to ski before he can continue towards the finish, and what looked like a very respectable run has been somewhat spoiled by those final 2 misses. Now, are we going to get a little Austrian surprise before the end of today? is Perna. It's quite quick. He's still ahead of Poiret's time, but remember, he's got 5 targets plus 20 seconds to ski, so he's going to be at least 30 seconds outside the best time, and he needs to be quick. Oof, threw that one away a little too quick, maybe. Just a little too quick, I think, and it's gone high right as well. It was very, very close. A little unlucky for Perna, but one penalty involved in his day's work, and that will probably push him outside the top 6. We'll see. Maybe he'll get in front of Rostovtzev. He could be the man responsible for a switch in the yellow bib. We'll wait and see. Rojkov's time, 18:54, is safe. He's got another 20 seconds. I think, in fact, he'll be outside Rostovtsev's time. Rusinov just missing out despite a clear shoot, but top 10 possible. Frank Luke survives in